Hi there, this is Paul Coughlin from InterviewSuccessGuide.com, and what I'm going to do is give you basically a 3 or 4 minutes introduction to what the interview guide provides. Now really we're looking at 3 things here. First of all, we show you how to connect with the interviewer, and this really covers communication styles, both yours and the interviewers. And we also look at how understanding communication allows you to build that essential rapport. We also look at helping you show them that you are the best person for the job, and the way we do this is by knowing what your strengths and talents are, and then also showing you how to connect your talents with the role or the job requirements. And lastly, we show you how you can control and influence the outcome more of the interview, and this is by clearly establishing your suitability for the job or the role, and creating certainty in their minds that you are actually the best person for the job. So let's have a look at these in a little bit more detail. It's vitally important that you create a positive connection with the interviewers, and by connection we mean a favourable relationship. We do this first through understanding behavioural styles and communication styles, and then applying that understanding to create the results we desire within the interview situation, and this guide will show you how to do that. Communication is really the dialogue. This is the language, verbal and non-verbal. Good communication will enable you to make the right and the best impression, and it does this in 2 ways really. Firstly, by showing them that you understand clearly what they require, you understand what they are saying and what is important to them, and then also by showing or communicating to them in an effective way what your talents are, what your strengths are, and why they are important to your interviewers, to the job or the role. Rapport is the positive relationship between you and your interviewers, and good rapport will create favourable results and positive outcomes. It's important to remember that rapport is more emotional than intellectual, and most decisions are driven by emotional factors. Rapport builds this essential emotional connection. Now, before you can show them your talents and strengths, you need to know them, and although many people think they know their own strengths, in actual fact most people don't. We have a quick test in the guide that will show you how much you know about yourself. Now, your strengths are going to show up in 3 main areas within this interview context, and that's in your behavioural and your communication style, in your natural abilities and talents, and also your areas of greatest strength. Now, strengths are not the same as talents. Strengths come from talents, but they are not the same. A strength is basically a talent that is applied to create value in a situation. Now, your personal interview profile will show you what you are naturally good at. It will show you your talents, but you will then learn in this guide how to present those talents in a way which shows your strengths. So we'll guide you through the process of how to give examples of when your talents were strengths, and this is so that in the interview itself you've already worked this out and understand it, and you can give examples to them of your strengths which are relevant to the role or the job. Now, this creates a powerful connection in the mind of the interviewer. They start to make connections themselves, or they start to create the connection themselves between you and this job or this role. Now, as you're working through this guide and also within the interview, as you develop powerful communication skills, as you start to understand your strengths and your talents, and as you increase your ability to show the relevance of these strengths, what these are all doing is these are increasing your level of control and the influence that you have within the interview situation. As you skillfully connect your talents and strengths to the needs and the requirements of the role or the job, what you're doing is you're demonstrating that you are the best person for the job, because you understand what is required and you have shown that you have what is required. And as the interviewer sees how you, with your relevant skills and your high degree of self-awareness, how the interviewer sees how you are aligned with and matched to the job or the role requirements, what this does is this creates a sense of certainty in the mind of the interviewers, the certainty that you are the right person for the job. Well, as I say, that was a very quick an overview of what's in the guide. I hope you found it useful and interesting. Please download the guide and get started now on the learning which will enable you to have the best interview ever. Thanks very much for listening. This is Paul Coughlin from InterviewSuccessGuide.com.